Audio check 1 2. Audio check 1 2 3. Hey guys, AJ Town here, live with the T-Storm Chasers, ready to bring you the latest weather update as we start to watch this winter storm that's going to really start impacting the area that is right behind me here. We're going to break it down hour by hour, let you know when things are going to start moving through the area, how it's going to impact travel, and what we are looking at for snow totals. As you can see right behind me here, we are looking at one area that is going to drop a significant amount of snow. So stay tuned. We will break everything down, take a look at a couple different model runs, kind of see what they're projecting for totals. Good news is, though, we're not looking for a substantial amount of snow for the Sioux Falls area. So that is the plus side of this. The downside of it, some areas could see upwards to a foot of snow as this pushes through. So stay with us. We're going to break it down. We got winter storm warnings out, winter weather advisories, wind chill actually, that advisory canceled, so never mind on that one. But we do have some weather stories to discuss with us here in the next 15-20 minutes. Thank you for all that is joining us. Remember, stay tuned. TSC is growing. We just got into an office, so we're going to really revamp things over the next month. So definitely hang in there with us because things are going to change. But it's going to change for the better, and we're going to have more fun. We will actually have a discussion table also that we're going to introduce. Just kind of a quick little blurb on that one. So let's jump into this snowstorm system. So we're going to start with the European model as we start to really break things down. We're going to watch this now. This is as of Friday morning. So we're going to just jump into live time basically. So Friday about 3 o'clock Friday about 9 a.m. is what we're going to utilize to start this. We can really see that monster system up in the northwestern portions of the United States that's really impacting the Idaho, Montana area and Wyoming area. That's going to continue to move its way eastward and really move into our area. As we do put the model into motion here, don't worry, folks, those of you that are joining us later, there's a live time so you know what exactly time we are looking at and doing this live. Secondly, don't worry, I will zoom in on this and give us a better look at it. But we're also looking at it at a national level too for those of you that follow us elsewhere besides the South Dakota area. Again, thank you those of you that join us everywhere else around the country. We have followers in Texas, Arizona, Florida. I have Indiana. I've heard all over the country that we have some followers. So, hey, if you guys want to put in the comments real quick, just where you're from, just so we can see where you guys are joining us from. I want to appreciate everybody for joining us with this as we jump into this system. So, Anyways, we're going to start breaking this down here. Now as we go about that 21 Zulu, we start to see it moving into western South Dakota. There about that 21 Zulu, so about that 3 p.m. time frame. As we start to put things into motion here, we start to see the system really start to form over the Sioux Falls area about that 06 Zulu. So that's about midnight to 2 o'clock in the morning. We really start to see things slowly start pushing in and start to ramp up here. That's going to bring us about a light dusting. But as you notice along that Highway 80 or I-80 corridor, not highway, Interstate 80 there, 90, Interstate 90 there in between the North Dakota and South Dakota border, we're starting to look at some of that snow already coming through. Watch how quick that really forms over here. So this is going to be a 6-hour jump just to see how well this starts to develop over the Dakotas and into the Nebraska Panhandle, upper Nebraska area there. We are seeing that then as we go the next 6 hours, we really start to see things come into the area there south of I-90. That's where we're going to see the strongest portion of this is going to be south of the I-90 corridor. Unfortunately, folks, Sioux Falls does kind of fall into that. But again, we're not looking at a substantial snow total. So that's a plus side. Substantial snow total to me is anywhere between 8 inches to a foot. So as we do continue to put the map into motion here, we do see about 12 Zulu. So that's going to be about that 6 o'clock in the morning. So those of you that are traveling, do be concerned that in the morning is when we're looking at the grunt of this system coming through. By your lunch hour there on Saturday, so noon, we start to see that system really progress its way eastward. It's going to say south of I-90, north of I-80. They're moving into Iowa, Nebraska, or Iowa and Minnesota area there. As we do continue to progress its way there, as we go into 00 Zulu, so this will be Saturday night, we start to see a little second system there moving across the Wyoming and into Nebraska and Colorado and western South Dakota there come into Saturday. So they're going to get hit with another round of snow. We're going to see a light snow shower push through, again, the Nebraska, Wyoming, and western South Dakota, southern portions of South Dakota there and into Nebraska. That's going to be 06 Zulu. So this is going to be another round that's going to be pushing through. That one's going to bring about a trace to an inch of snow. Nothing substantial with that one as we go through. Good news is we got a high pressure system that's going to move through. As that high pressure system, that's going to knock down that snow totals and also knock down that strength of that system. As we go into Sunday, then we watch another system that is slowly moving across the state, bringing us another little bit of a dusting there. That's going to progress its way southward and eastward and die off as that high pressure system moves through. Now, as we go through the rest of the week, good news is we're not watching much of another winter storm system, except for down into the Texas and Oklahoma area there, where they're going to see a winter storm really progress on Tuesday into that area. As we do progress there, we do watch this system down basically in the southern portions of the country there that is really affecting the state. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Thursday we're watching another system that is gaining strength over that Texas and Oklahoma area that's going to bring some substantial snowfall to that area as well. That'll continue to progress its way eastward as that low pressure system bounces out of the area. We're watching another system there come into next Saturday that's going to bring us a chance of seeing some snow. Right now, this model is keeping that into North Dakota and Minnesota, staying into the upper portions of Wisconsin, and then the upper peninsula of Michigan as well. That'll continue to progress its way eastward as that does come across. And unfortunately, folks, that's going to hit the eastern coast, and that's going to really impact that eastern coast. We're going to see those two low pressure systems merge, and that's going to create a disturbance off the coast. So that's good news on that one. Now, let's take a quick look here back home at a detailed little bit. Remember, drop where you're from down below. Let us know. Let us hear. Looks like we got Brookings, Rock Rapids, Del Rapids, Sioux Falls, Watertown, Marshall, Minnesota, Flandreau, Omaha, Nebraska. Thanks for joining us there. Hall, Iowa. Hey, I've been there, surprisingly. That is a very, very small town. But, hey, you guys do have a good pizza ranch. Anyways, as we jump back into this, we're going to start it here at 15 Zulu, which is going to be about that 9 p.m. or 9 a.m. is what we are going to start things off at. So we're going to watch this disturbance come out of that Montana and Wyoming area, move into western South Dakota, about that 21 Zulu, and start to really see things ramp up here come that Friday into Saturday. Then as we go Saturday morning, that is when we start to see things start to progress along the I-90 corridor. Again, along that I-90 corridor is where we're going to see the best chance of seeing some snow totals. South of I-90 is where we're going to see the most substantial snow totals with this as well. So as we do put the map into motion there, we can see that little area right here that is bringing us that heavier snow chances, again, right along that Highway 81 to the west of that in South Dakota and Nebraska area. Good news is that's going to continue to progress its way eastward, stay south of I-90 and north of I-80 is what we are looking at for the grunt of this system. That'll continue to progress its way eastward into Michigan, Illinois, and Wisconsin area, upper Indiana too. We're watching another little clipper system that's moving through that's going to bring a high pressure system, knocking it down. We're not expecting much snow totals with that one, maybe a trace to an inch with that one as that progresses through. Phoenix, Arizona, you must be just traveling there. You don't actually live there, or you live there 6 months out of the year and then come back for the other good 6 months here. Anyways, as we do put the map into motion, sorry to pick on you there. As we do put the map back into motion, we're not watching anything else for the rest of the week. Again, southern portions, we can see that kind of creeping up northward. Otherwise, we are just watching that little clipper system that is moving through here on Friday into Saturday. That's going to affect really extreme northeastern South Dakota and Minnesota area there, and into North Dakota. That's not going to affect really South Dakota much, and that's going to continue to progress its way eastward. Minnesota, Wisconsin, and upper peninsula of Michigan there is what we are looking at that. That's going to be Friday into Saturday, so if you are traveling eastward, you kind of have that outlook too. So that is the good news. Let's take a quick look at your snow totals here as I get that loaded here. Now, this is the GFS's version of the snow totals, which we kind of favoritize, or I'm sorry, the European model, which we kind of favoritize because it's been more dead on with these winter storms that have been moving through timing-wise and everything with this. So I kind of favoritize the European model over the GFS, the NOM, and anything else. As we go into the next 24 hours here, so this would be Friday evening. Like I did mention before, we do expect to see some of that dusting to an inch push through the area come Friday into Saturday. Now, as we start Saturday morning off here, we do see, again, that I-90 corridor southward is going to see the most snow total there, where 1 to 2 inches is likely. As I put that map back into motion there, again, you can see south of I-90 there pretty much is what we are looking at for the greatest snow totals. Now, 3 to 5 inches for the Sioux Falls area come into your morning as you're waking up Saturday morning there is what we expect to see on the ground. So about 1 to 2 inches by 12 to 6, and then 6 on is when that grunt of that system is going to push through and really give us another 5 to 7 inches of snowfall. Again, the heaviest snow band that we are seeing is going to be south of I-90 and going to be basically just west of Highway 81. So down by the Yankton area is what we are seeing. Nebraska and South Dakota border there is where we're seeing the grunt of this. That'll continue again to progress its way eastward, bringing the snow totals just between I-80 and I-90 corridor, stacking in between there. Anywhere between 6 to 8 inches is what we are looking at. So for the Sioux Falls area, as we want to take a quick zoom in here, you can pick out your counties there, look at your snow totals. I'll leave this up for a quick 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's move on. Now, as we look at the rest of the week here, we don't expect to see any additional snow increases with that, so that is a plus there. As we did mention, there is a winter storm warning that is in effect for areas in that purple area, and I just had that up, so give me just a brief second to pull that back up. I certainly do apologize there. As we look at that, there is that winter storm warning which goes into effect at 6 p.m. tonight and goes through the day basically tomorrow into Saturday. So we are looking at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time that winter storm warning is in effect. Again, those areas in purple is where there are going to see the greatest snow totals with that as well. We put the map up, Becca, and you guys can certainly go back and review it later after we are done. Unfortunately, trying to get this all done and completed in a quick amount of time, I don't have time to go back on slides. Anyways, winter storm warning goes in effect 6 p.m. tonight until 3 p.m. tomorrow. They are saying for that area, they are looking at anywhere from 5 to 8 inches. Again, our concern that we're coming into is going to be those 35-plus mile-an-hour winds that we are going to be looking at. A winter weather advisory is in effect for those areas in green, which is going to be basically, like I said, I-90 southward is what we are looking at. For the substantial amount of this system is what we are looking at. So between I-80 and I-90, that appears where this system is going to be really impacting and moving through. That goes in effect tonight at 9 p.m. and lasts until 6 p.m. for the areas in green. So again, we're going to see some winds push through with this system. As we see those winds push through, that's what's going to really create some weather concerns as well. Wind gust upwards to 25 miles per hour is what we are going to be looking at. Now, this is a map put out by the National Weather Service that we are looking at. You can see those wind speeds right there. There is a list of all of your cities with their wind speeds. Saturday, we are looking at anywhere between 20 to 35 mile an hour for your wind gust. So we are looking at some heavy winds that will be pushing through the area with this. Now, we do have that concern, again, of seeing some of that. As we take a quick look at your GFS model snow totals, we are looking at, again, 1.6 inches is what they're saying. I think the GFS is pushing the system a little too further south and not really impacting the area. Again, it's going to be further northeastward is what this snowband is going to be a little further northeastward, bringing our snow totals higher. I am right around that 4 to 6 inch mark for the Sioux Falls area. Again, not a substantial amount, but enough to be an annoying amount. But hey, we do need that moisture throughout. So we do still have the drought concerns and stuff as well, even with as much as we do. So as we talk about concerns, look at these temps that are going to be progressing through the area. Now, this map is put out by, if I can get my finger in the right spot, by the National Weather Service as well. You can see that temps are going to be in the double digits for wind chill values. So we are going to be going into a real cold end of January and beginning of February. Speaking of that, if we take a quick look back at your temperature outlook. Now, this is a little bit of an older map, so I do certainly apologize. But you can see this older map does say that temps are going to be below average coming into the first part of February. So that is what we are definitely looking at, is it's going to be below average for this time of year for those temps. Let's take a quick look now at your GFS model here. Give me a quick second to pull that up. All right, so we are going to put this into play here and look at the timing of this. You can see the GFS keeps it right along the South Dakota-Nebraska border there, pushes that along the I-90 corridor there, come into Saturday, keeps the grunt of the system, again, south of the Sioux Falls, between I-90 and I-80, and pushing along that Iowa-Minnesota border, and continues to progress its way. Again, we do see that Clipper system that pushes through on Sunday, not much of a concern. And then, again, as we go through the rest of the week, we're not looking much of a snow system progressing through, even according to the GFS, which is good news on that. Now, the GFS does show that little hint. So the GFS is actually showing that snow system pushing a little further northward of what the European model says. I think the GFS overdoes it and pushes it too far northward, but something we'll have to keep a close eye on. We do have another little system that we're watching here come February 8th of a Clipper system pushing through just a little bit, not a substantial amount, but definitely something to keep an eye on. Again, wind gust is what our concern is as we go into this week, and as this loads here for me. So as we start to put the map into motion there, you can see those wind gusts is really what is going to fuel a lot of this, come with that heavier band of snow, creating some of the travel concerns and visibility issues as you go through the day. On Sunday there, that does stick around a little bit and pushes its way out, and then does bring us that colder air. Now that is where that colder air is really coming into effect and bringing our colder air wind chills coming in is these wind gusts. So these are just wind gusts. These are not sustained winds, but you can imagine just with that as far as wind gust is concerned. As we take a give me just a quick second here, and I will get you an hour by hour forecast. Give me just a quick second to get that loaded. Let's take a quick look at your road reports as that is loading. Let me get that transferred over. So as we take a quick look at your road reports, I zoomed in there along I-29. Now this is a live update that we just refreshed our page with, and you can see much of east of the river there is going to be your scattered ice and slippery throughout. And in the Sioux Falls immediate area is the scattered wet area. But you can see, again, much of the area. Over by the Madison area there, they are looking at frost, ice, and slippery for some of that road conditions there. Otherwise, much of, again, I-90, we have heard many accidents along the I-90 corridor that has came across the scanner. That is I-90 scattered and slippery as well. Just a second here to get I'm having some issues here. Give me just a quick second. There you go. All right, let's look at this hour by hour. When is this system going to move through? What is it going to bring? So again, about 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon starts to affect the West River area there. As we start to look about the 8-9 o'clock, it starts to push through. About 10-11 o'clock there, it starts to move into the Sioux Falls area. You can see those heavier bands right along Highway 83 there, down by the Valentine, Nebraska area there. You can see those pushing through. You can see some of the blue area there south of Highway 18 come into the overnight hours there. So as we do wake up in the morning, that is when we expect to see the grunt of the system really pushing through, is going to be the overnight hours. So you'll wake up to your snow totals there is going to be through the overnight hours, unfortunately. Let's take a quick look at our single frame load here. As we're going to load that, we're going to look at their snow totals. Now, the HRRR shifts it just a little further northward, and I think it really overdoes it, bringing some of the snow totals up. further northward. Again, I favoritize the European model. So I think this does. I feel this overdoes it, but we will see 9.7 inches for the Sioux Falls area. Highway 18, Highway 81 corridor, 10.5 inches. Winter 10.3, Valentine 4.8, Norfolk, Nebraska 1.6, Sioux City 5.3, 10.2, Sioux Center, Spencer 8.5, Worthington 9.8, Marshall 2.9, Watertown about a trace of snow there. Redfield about 0.6, Rapid City area about 7.5 inches. So you can see that it is just going to be across the area. But again, I think the HRRR pushes us a little further northward than what it really should be. One thing I want to do, take a look at, just to kind of look at things here, is this is from the National Weather Service, updated as of 2:30 this morning. You can see that they do keep that heavier band further south of the Sioux Falls area. Area with the highest uncertainty for snow totals is going to be, again, between Highway 50 and I-90 there in South Dakota. So basically we are looking anywhere between 1 to 5 inches, and then Highway 50 north to I-90 is basically what we are looking at for some of the uncertainty. Again, I feel the HRRR model run pushes it a little further northward. It'll be south of that we see the greatest snow totals there. So we'll continue to monitor this, watch closely as this does start to ramp up and come into the area. I'll have another briefing later tonight with the latest update on the model runs, latest information, so then we do or can bring that to you. When it starts to even move into South Dakota is when we'll really start to discuss it, because that's when the data is going to be the most update on that. So again, this has been AJ Town live with the T-Storm Chasers, bringing you the latest weather information. Stay tuned with us as we continue to grow, move into our office next week, and I'm excited for that. Finally, I can say I'm out of a basement. But anyways, as we move into an office next week, we are going to continue to grow. We're going to have some different sessions that we're going to do with you guys. We're going to bring you more information, more news, and we're going to continue to grow. Thank you guys for those of you that support us and continue to support us.